Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Reluctant Leader. And I'm your host, Gajinda Bogle, aka The Reluctant Leader. And I'm joined today by an absolutely fabulous guest, Parul Ganatra from The Silk Glow. And we have been trying to have this conversation for absolute months. And even today, we had to have a bit of a giggle because so many things are getting in the way of this conversation actually happening. But we beat the odds and we are now having this conversation. Parul, I'm so excited to have you here with us today, sharing your absolutely incredible journey, your entrepreneurial journey. And before we do begin our conversation, do you want to introduce yourself to everybody listening to us today?
Yeah, thank you for having me. Hi, everyone. I'm Parul, the founder of the Silk Glow. Silk Glow is an Ayurvedic natural hair and skincare brand. It's made for all, and it's for all hair types and all skin types. It started on my own hair and skincare issues many years ago, and we have been around for almost 3 years this year.
Wow. That is incredible. 3 years. So from 3 years from when? The day you launched?
Yes. So we launched in November 2022, which was actually a delayed launch because my initial launch was meant to be August 2022. So yes, it will be 3 years this year, November.
Wow. And Parul, tell me, you launched the business 3 years ago, but when did you actually start?
It started a very long time ago. It goes back to 2016, 2017, a very long time ago. So life was really stressful. I was working full time, managing 2 small kids, juggling being a mum and looking after family, but at the same time caring for 2 loved ones. So my husband and my dad were critically ill, and life was extremely stressful that I didn't have the time to stop and breathe or look at myself in the mirror. And my hair and skin was a complete state. And it was just a very difficult time. A year later, when things improved and things were recovered with both my loved ones, I decided I need to think about myself.
Yes.
It was the moment I did that, I realized my skin was not good. I had acne, blemishes, uneven skin tone, and also my hair, it was just brittle, not growing past a certain length as well. There's lots of issues. So I decided I'm going to think about myself. I will find something that works. But the problem I faced was going through the vicious cycle. So I used to spend lots of money on buying products and then didn't work, and then do the same thing again for 6 months.
And ask everyone else, what do you use? What do you use? And getting what everyone else uses, right?
Yeah.
And I guess, Parul, what you experienced was what many women experience when they don't look after themselves. When you don't look after yourself, when you put everybody else first, everybody else's needs first before your own, it starts showing up, doesn't it, in physical symptoms?
It does. Yeah, it does. And I think by the time you realize it's too late, because you haven't had that chance to look at yourself and think about what it is that your skin and hair needs, because life just throws things at you and then you've just become living in this vicious cycle.
Reaction mode, isn't it? Where you just react and you're firefighting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So then everything calmed down.
Yeah.
Your loved ones were on the path to recovery and you decided to focus on yourself. And you were in this vicious cycle of finding all these products that, were having, questionable success with your concerns and with your needs. So what then made you think, do you know what? I'm just taking matters into my own hands.
So the point when products were not working for me and I was very tired of spending lots of money on products that didn't work. So I decided to turn to my roots. Now, I've always grown up with using natural Ayurvedic ingredients passed down from my grandma, my mum, and my dad, who I sadly lost in May 23.
So sorry. Sorry
You.
to hear.
So that knowledge was always passed down through generations. So it's been very close to my heart. I mean, if we had a cold or a cough or anything, you go down to using natural herbal remedies. So I decided to start making something in my kitchen, which I thought, let me start making oil that works for my skin. It took months, and I was determined to make something that actually worked. By having the knowledge passed down to me and having my own some knowledge as well, I was able to create something. And when I found something that worked, I was really happy that it really worked for my skin. At that time, it also worked for friends and family, and they gave me really good results. And I thought to myself, I've made something that worked. It's just not worked for me, it's worked for others too. And that was my light bulb moment, that I've created something that solves skin problems here. So that's when I can do something with this, take it further.
So when did that idea drop? When did that penny drop that, do you know what, I'm actually going to turn this into a business?
So once the oil started working for me and my friends and family, it was at that moment I thought, I have something here. And I then realized I can create something out of it. I can push this further. And if I didn't do it, then somebody else would, without the same passion. So it was that driver to get something going and out there. And then went through extensive testing and working with a cosmetic scientist, and then gradually turned it into a product, which was finalizing that, and other areas such as the bottle, the packaging, and all the other things that go with it. So
yeah. And do you know what, Parul? I'm trying to work out the maths here. So 2016 is when you had the idea to launch this as a business. You already had the product by then, but 2016, and then 2022 was when you launched. That's 6 years.
yes.
What happened in those 6 years from the conception of this idea, I'm going to start this business, to I'm launching it? That's a long time.
It's a long time. So once they recovered, my loved ones recovered in 2017, I started creating it then. At that point, that is when friends and family tested the product, and they gave me really good results. I then started thinking about, let's get this tested in a lab, work with a cosmetic scientist. That took me into 18 and 19. I didn't really push on it too much. It was more about, okay, I've only got one product. But in the background, I was also working on other products as well. So it wasn't just about that, because it was also the hair oil.
Yeah.
And I had other products like serums and things. So it was working on other products which weren't launching the same time as a face oil, but it was doing a lot of research and development, looking into formulations, working with a scientist, doing testing. So a lot of my time went on that. I was then ready to launch probably early 2022. And the reason why I wasn't able to launch was because I just wanted things perfect. And I know now, me saying this, there is never that perfect moment. But for example, the website, pictures, the writing that you have on your blogs, the packaging, every single thing. And it was difficult to get every single thing perfect. So I had to live with what I had, and then the launch date was delayed to November.
And I guess that's one of the things, we become the victims of our own perfection, right? But there's also this saying that you only get one chance at making that first impression.
Yeah.
So when you're going out there with a bang, you want the full shebang, right? You want everything to be as amazing as it possibly can, because this is your baby.
Yes, that's true. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, Parul, the only thing I could think about, and this is probably the Asian in me as well, while you were talking about all of this stuff, is the financials. Like, this all sounds so expensive that you had to get labs involved, scientists involved, packaging, and, you know, websites and blogs and pictures and all of this stuff. So was that yourself that had to finance this whole process?
A lot of it has been personal finances to fund, because when you first start up, you just literally think about, actually, let's just fund it ourselves. That's the easiest and the quickest way. But since then, obviously, we have started having other things in place for the past year and a half now, like marketing strategies and other things, where things are not funded, it's paid for by the business. But at the initial start, it's hard, but you know it's going to be worth it. And I thought, if I don't make the initial investments when I did, things will be delayed. And things were already delayed, and I just wanted to get things moving and get them done correctly. That was my initial thoughts.
And I don't know about you, but when I've been going through my business journey has been about 6 years as well. And as I've been going through the business journey, and every time I invest money and every time I spend money, like, I see my husband's eyes, they kind of roll over, and I see my family's eyes rolling over. And I'm sure you must have got that as well. Or there must have been points throughout that 6-year period where someone must have said to you, do you seriously want to spend all this money? And do you seriously want to go down that route? And did that ever happen for you, where you questioned what you were doing? And if so, what still kept you going?
I think it was, well, I did have friends, to be honest, that did say,
what are you
"Are
doing?
you sure you want to do this? Are you sure you want to continue? You're investing a lot of money in this. Are you sure this is the right thing?" And I said, it is the right thing. This is what I want to do. And I want people to support me. I want, and sometimes you don't really get that initially. And I think what kept me going was all the beliefs about mindset through my dad, which were passed down to me, and some of the things that he's drilled into me, things such as nothing is impossible, keep going, you can do anything, you've got to put your mind to it, and you can do anything. So they're all the words of wisdom that has kept me going, and his support more than anything, and my husband's support as well.
That's amazing. And you know what? I really feel that, I love your products as well. I use them myself. And I've just had a deeper connection with the values that have brought these products to life. And it's actually those values, those mindset values, that are actually infused in the product as much as the oils and the ingredients that go into making it, which is absolutely incredible. And, navigating grief after your launch as well is absolutely incredible. And the fact that, your dad did infuse a lot of this stuff, all of these values into this product, which kind of keeps going. And how do you juggle everything that you've juggled? You've juggled keeping yourself going for 6 years. You've juggled grief in that time. You're juggling mum. You're juggling launching this business, juggling all your friends and family, and juggling a job, right?
Yes.
How do you do it?
It's hard. It's when I initially had just my job, the kids, managing everything else, it was doable. When I started having the business into the mix as well, at the start, you actually don't realize how many hours need to be poured into the business, because it's actually more than a 9-to-5 job. It's actually a 24-hour job. You've got to work every single day, even the weekends. So what I do now, I do have a routine in place. So making sure I've not just allocated time for my job, for my business, but also for the kids. Allocate times where I'm going to prep my meals, going to go have to do some exercise, self-care. So everything is really kind of planned out in a routine. Weekends are pretty much the same. Most weekends go on working on the business, just to get things done.
Wow, yes. And one of the things something that stuck with me, I heard something many years ago, and it was, if you want to know the true success of a business, it's ask the family.
Yeah.
So if the family are saying, oh, we never see mom, or we never see this, or, no one has time for us, or whatever, you then have a really good idea of how successful that business is. What do your kids think about the business?
The kids absolutely love it. They love seeing new products come to life, especially when they know how much hard work and effort has gone into the research and development and the testing. And when they see the final product, the smiles on their faces are, it's just such a lovely moment to see. And sometimes they throw in ideas which are not the kind of ideas I'll probably have. They, like my son would say, have a theme, Harry Potter theme or something. It's obviously not related to Silk Glow, but I think they just love pouring in ideas, and they just love seeing.
Yeah. And I guess it allows them as well to unleash their creative expression as well, isn't it? Where they see what creativity can birth, and they almost are, they're sparked as well, aren't they? They get sparked into thinking, what can we produce and what can we do?
Yes, that's it. Yes. I mean, my daughter uses all the products, and when she runs out, she's like, I need another one. So she's making sure she never misses a single day as well. And she's always trying to find ways in how she can pour in ideas and look for new things for us to do as well.
I love that. I absolutely love that. Now, Parul, you didn't start this business, and I hate talking about age because obviously we're all 21. But Silk Glow started at a milestone time for you, and it was a milestone age. And when normally people would, and again, I don't want this age to sound really old, but normally normal people would actually start to slow down in their life, but you decided to ramp life up. And not only ramp life up, but you had this vision, and you did actually turn it into an award-winning brand as well. So what did that feel like to almost do that at a milestone age? And probably not the norm either, right?
No. So I think for me, I knew I was hitting 40, but I didn't want that to stop me from launching my business. And another reason was because the launch date was delayed massively. I thought, I can't delay this even more. I'm going to launch this year. Whether it happens or not, I'm just going to launch it. I'm not looking at my age. I'm just going to launch it. And that's what happened. And I thought, actually, it wasn't a bad thing, because it's the year I turned 40. And it's the year the business was launched. So I take it as a positive.
Yeah, like a rebirth, right?
Yeah.
Like a beautiful rebirth.
Yeah.
Amazing. And what do you think has been quite challenging? So can you share with any of us guys how many challenges, what the challenges might have been, and even some of the significant milestones in these early stages of the business? Now, probably things are, we all assume, plain sailing, but can you share some insight in how you overcome some of these challenges to make it to almost 3 years of launching?
So when you first start, you never think about the many challenges and hurdles you come across in a business, because you're new to starting, you're new to getting everything set up, all the processes in place and everything else. But there is never going to be a perfect business journey. So the hurdles are faced, you could have delays with product launches, for example. So one of my challenges and hurdles was last year, I was meant to have at least 2 product launches. and that didn't happen at all. I did get very disappointed, but I thought, I don't want to rush something. I want to take my time, and it has to go through some more testing. It has to go through more testing for it to be correct. And then I've pushed it into this year. So I think with challenges and hurdles, I think one thing I've learned is to see the positive out of it, because I always believe that when you have a challenge coming your way or a hurdle, it's there to either teach you something or show you a new direction, but it's happening for a reason, and it's always a good reason. And things are meant to happen when they are happening. Everything is happening when it's meant to happen. So what I have learned is just continue and not let that be the setback.
And I'm going to assume that you had a vision for this business. And it's obvious that you've got a strong belief system which you anchor into to support you to overcome these challenges. How important is it to have a longer term vision for your business? And can you actually share what yours is?
Yes. So I think the importance of having a longer term vision is absolutely vital, because you need to have a sense of direction where you want your business to head. It's about knowing how it's currently working at this moment in time and using that to work out, actually, this is where I want to get to. So for me, we are approaching 3 years in November, which I just don't know where that's gone. But for my vision is to keep growing the Silk Glow, expand on our product range, and continue to be a growing Ayurvedic hair and skincare business. So that is my vision, and I'll just keep going.
I love that. I absolutely love that. And I think, having that vision and knowing what you're working towards is so, so important to just really help you get to where you want to go. One of the big things at the moment is all around sustainability.
Yeah.
How do you make sure, especially with products, right? There's just so much around sustainability, so much around ethics. How do you make sure that Silk Glow is constantly adhering to sustainability and ethical practices?
So way we've done that, we making sure all our packaging is recycled. We're keeping on top of what is going to be beneficial for the customers and ensuring that we are staying on top of it. So when we first launched, I'll give you an example of our packaging. It was more plastic seals around our packaging, and then we had padded envelopes, and now it's a complete difference. So it's recyclable boxes, and the bottles for the face oil are again glass. So we're really pushing in that direction.
Yeah, and they are absolutely beautiful. Like, they still are so luxurious. Like, you feel the luxury, even though, sometimes there's a negative connotation to recycled materials, but actually it feels so luxurious. It's really, really amazing. And I really love that. And I really love as well how you're innovating a real ancient practice. So, Ayurvedic principles are very ancient. They've been around for absolute years. But what you've done is actually added a layer of innovation to that and really brought it into the modern times. And how do you stay true to these Ayurvedic roots at the same time?
So using my roots, obviously going into my roots to develop products is something that I've been so passionate about and very close to my heart. And I think for me, it's staying true to your roots. I mean, I because I have grown up with using Ayurvedic ingredients, whether it's kind of applying it on your hair and skin, in your meals, even up until this day, I'm still doing the same thing. Like, I would still use Ayurvedic herbal ingredients like for meals, and then also have the ingredients for hair and skin products as well. An example is like so turmeric is one of our hero ingredients. for our face oil. Now, it's something that you also eat as well because it's anti-inflammatory. So it's anti-inflammatory, it's good for your skin, and it gives you a number of benefits. So it's not just about, okay, it's got turmeric in there. Will it affect the color? Will it, face go like slightly yellow or anything? It doesn't. Initially, people do think that, but because I have done a lot of research and development and created it based on my own skin concerns, it's making something that works and staying true to Ayurvedic, knowledge, but making sure that it does do the job it needs to and works effectively.
And you can prove it.
Yeah.
And you've got the proof. So you can, because, obviously modern world takes over.
Yeah.
And they sometimes tell us that all our practices that our ancestors have been practicing for years and years and years was all wrong. But actually, you can scientifically prove that they were all right. And here's that evidence, which I think is amazing. So I want to shift a little bit now. I want to start talking more about you and your journey. And I want to learn how starting a business has changed you and how becoming an entrepreneur has changed you, because you've also won an award for Businesswoman of the Year.
Yeah.
2024.
Yeah.
How has that changed and impacted your life?
So I'm so honored and grateful to win that award because I just wasn't expecting that at all. And it's made me feel proud in what I have achieved, because last year, March, I didn't even hit my 2 years in the business. My 2 years were hit last year, November. So I just felt,
wow,
just proud. And I think it was more like having that proud feeling moment because it was launched purely because of my husband being unwell and my dad being unwell. I think the first thing I did was, do a little candle with my dad, and I said, "I'm sure you're proud of me." But it's such a beautiful moment, and I think what it's taught me is, just because I have won the Businesswoman of the Year, it doesn't mean that's it. I want to, I still keep going. It's taught me lots of things, and I think there's so many incredible women out there. And just to also add, I've been selected to be the judge for She Awards for the Businesswoman category as well.
For this year?
This year.
Oh, amazing. Yeah. Amazing.
There's so many incredible women, and I was going through all their applications, and they are incredible. So
wow.
I've done really well.
And you get to kind of realize that I'm part of that world.
Yeah.
And not to say that women in corporates aren't incredible, but there is this whole other world out there, which is entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
And you kind of get to be part of that, right?
Yeah, which is nice. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like its own little sisterhood, isn't it?
Yes.
Only we understand the challenges that come with running a business.
Yes.
Oh, and do you have any advice? Do you have any advice for anyone who might be sitting there thinking, I want to start a business, but I don't know where to start? Or, my God, I've been working on this thing for years and it hasn't led to anywhere and I'm still stalling. I'm at a plateau. I don't know how to move forward. Do you have any advice for anyone that might have been an earlier version of you, going through some of the things that you went through, some of the challenges that you went through?
I'd say my biggest advice is, don't give up. Pushing through.
Yeah.
And if you have an idea and you want to take it to market and you want to launch, then just go for it.
Yeah.
There will never be a perfect moment, because when I launched, the first thing I said to myself is, I wish I launched earlier. There will never be a perfect moment, because you will never have everything perfect. That is very hard to do. So I would say, yeah, don't give up and keep going and just go for it.
Yeah. Do you know what? I agree with that as well. And I always believe there's space for messy action.
Yes.
There's space for this really crazy, messy action, which you can just sort out later on. But it's just that you're taking action and you're moving forward.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Parul, how are you going to be celebrating 3 years this year? What are you going to do for your 3-year celebration?
Oh gosh, I think we try to keep it small. So I'm trying to have a product launch around that time because our 3 years
Nice.
falls just after Diwali. So having something in place just before Diwali would tie in quite
Mm.
nicely. Um,
Can you
and
share
Diwali,
any intel on what this exciting new product might be?
I can't reveal anything yet.
Okay.
Only
What
because
part of the body is it for?
uh, it is probably going to be the skin.
Ooh, exciting.
Yes. So it's just so many things to do, but I'm trying to tie it in with just before Diwali, and that's if everything goes to plan. And this is the thing: you can have everything planned out, and if sometimes things go off track, or sometimes things are out of your control, then you just have to go with what you're able to do. So
What you're able to do,
that's the
yeah.
plan. But however, it's down to things, everything working the way they should.
Well, add me to the wait list. Anything to do with skin, I am in. I'm so in. Oh,
Thank you.
I'm really excited. So we'll definitely be looking out for all of that stuff. Now, Parul, I don't know about you, but when I was younger, I never dreamed of being an entrepreneur. I didn't really know what a business owner was when I was younger, and I actually wanted to be an astronaut, like many, many other children. What were kind of your dreams and aspirations when you were younger that you thought you might have been doing when you were older?
So the younger me, when I was at school, I wanted to be various different things. So that at one point I wanted to become a graphic designer. Then I wanted to become a banker,
A
a
banker, like really?
scientist.
Okay.
Um, it didn't go that way at all, to be honest. So then I did my degree was in business computing, and then I did a major in computing. But that's taught me a lot as well because it's all about
Mm.
project management, which I delved into further. But yeah, it's so different to what I would have done.
Yeah, it really is, isn't it? And this is what makes the Reluctant Leader such a great series because we never dreamed of becoming leaders in our industries or, becoming business owners, becoming entrepreneurs. And actually, it's really lovely to experience that journey and see what's helped us land to where we are today,
Yeah,
which is really good. So, Parul, we've spoken to you in your, I guess, in your capacity as a mum, as a business owner, as a wife, and as a daughter. But what does Parul like to do when she has a day off, when she has a day to herself, if we even know what those things are? Because sometimes we don't. But what are the things that you love to do that it's just you?
I'm going to be completely honest. I never have a day off. It's really hard.
No, do not say that.
I think the only time I probably have a day off is probably going to be when it's my birthday or my husband's birthday. So we take the day off and do a spa day or something.
Mm.
Or when it's Diwali and you've got Christmas Day, that Christmas week. Other than that, or when you're on holiday, but it's just hard to have a day off. But I think for me, it's just when I have some time to myself, I do try to have at least an hour a day to myself.
Oh, that's nice.
Uh,
Okay, that's good.
yeah, so it does vary. So the every other day, I'll have try to do an hour of exercise, but then evenings try to make time, just wind down, focus on the
Mm.
next day, plan the next day, and try to do some reading in the morning as well. I mean, other than that, to be honest, I don't really get much time to myself. Other than if it's a birthdays or it's a celebration or you're on holiday, which is hard.
Yeah, it's hard, but I guess one of the magic things here is just taking snippets of time, even if you've only got an hour in a day,
Yeah.
because actually an hour, a power hour, can actually feel like a whole day if used wisely enough, right?
Yes, that's true. Yeah. So if it's used wisely, then it really does help. It sets you up for the day and you feel like you've done something. So I'll try and do my workout and then have some time beforehand, even if it's like 15 to 20 minutes, just to do some gratitude and
Mm.
journaling. beforehand. But it does change when you are on holiday, because you are out of sync, but you do take your laptop with you and you end up working sometimes on holiday. So
yeah, I do that as well. And do you know what? Sometimes I feel it takes the edge off a little bit.
yeah.
If you just have it with you, and even if you can do 5-10 minutes, it might, save lots and lots of hours at some point in the future.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, amazing. And lastly, we are coming to the end of the conversation, but one thing I really want to talk about is your impact and your legacy, and what it is that you really want to be remembered for, and that lasting, the lasting feelings and lasting thoughts that you want to leave this world with. Really, what does that look like for you? And can you share anything with us?
So for me, I'll probably base it on the legacy that's been passed down to me from my dad, because that's what I will pass down to my kids and want to be remembered for. So for me, it's about having a strong mindset and having strong self-beliefs, because if you have those two things in place, you are capable of getting through many things in life, and you are not going to be affected by things that come your way. And if they come your way, you are able to manage it in the right way. So I think it's really important to have the strong mindset, tell yourself you can do it and you will do it. And that's something that my dad drilled into my head from a young age. I would say, I can't do this. He'd be like, yes, you can, you will do it. There's no such thing as can't. So I think it's being remembered for there's no such thing as can't. You can do it. You're capable of doing anything, because nothing is impossible. You've just got to put your mind to it and you can do it. So having that strong mindset.
That is amazing. And I really feel that Silk Glow really represents that it is that mindset of you can do anything you put your mind to. And here's the result of that.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Thank you so much, Parul. I've absolutely loved this conversation. I've loved learning so much more about you, so much more about Silk Glow, and just to see where the brand is going is absolutely incredible. So I'm so excited. And how can people reach out? So if they want to find out more, if they want to sample some of the products, what's the best course of action for them to take?
So the best place to buy our products directly is on our website, which is silkglow.com. Or you can send us an email if you have any questions about the products, which is info@thesilkglow.com.
Amazing. And obviously look out for this incredible new product launch that is going to happen after Diwali or around Diwali time.
Fingers crossed, yes.
Fingers crossed. Amazing. Parul, thank you so much for being an incredible guest today. And to everybody that's listened and tuned into this conversation, we thank you so much. Thank you for giving us your time and listening to this conversation. And obviously, I hope it just inspires you to either take action with anything that is, you've been dreaming about, or to continue to take action if you're already working through something. You remember Parul's journey took her 6 years before her launch, and look at the incredible products that she's got together. So do not give up and just focus on your mindset, like Parul said. So thank you so much. And we will see you again soon for another episode. Bye.
Bye-bye.